somebody, probably me, somebody forgot to click the start streaming button this evening. So, we ought to let everyone filter in, because we're now not hosting Codephobia, I don't believe. Who is wonderful, by the way. But we're here. I'm back. I'm going to let everyone get through the ads. Because, well, assuming that you don't run any sort of software that stops those ads. Yeah, let's not have that discussion. But yeah, we're back. Apologies for having a week off that's been very unplanned. Yeah, Tuesday and Thursday I just did not feel well. And then I thought, I know, I'll stream Sunday night, it'll be fine, it'll all be fine, and no power cuts. All evening. So, yeah, streaming through power cuts would have been tricky. It wasn't always knocking the computer off, but it was knocking the internet out, and it was making monitors flicker, and it was just not good. The cable router which I sort of which I apparently rent off my ISP is not good. So why is that in managed stream mode? That's better. Activity feed looks better. So I can see you guys on my phone as well now. Anyone that's in chat, do me a quick favour. I have done a quick stream chat before, but if you're in chat and you can see and hear me, do please let me know. Okay, everything's off. Okay, my phone needs to know because my phone will still vibrate, so I've just got to remember to ignore the thing. I'm happy to report, though, that we do have coffee. So this is going to be a caffeinated stream, which is good. I am going to be able to chat. Let's all chat while we wait for a few more to get in, because I didn't start this up. Hello, Joko482. How are you doing? How's your week been? Font. There's no point in calling the font command because I'm not using the same font I used to. In fact, let's go across and show the point. I'm now using Liberation Mono. Fire Code is great, but in the full version of Visual Studio, ligatures with a dash involved aren't used. And as I seem to be doing more and more C++ and less F#, I've moved away from Fire Code. But by the way, Fire Code is the old font, Joker. Niddles, your system's laggy, gonna restart. Hope it behaves again soon. Yeah, Fire Code. Let me, as soon as we're kind of in the warmy-uppy bit. Fire Code. I'll drop you a link. Nerd fonts, patched fonts. No, we don't need the patched fonts. We'll have that's just the normal font, and if you want a Powerline version of it, so if you're running Vim Powerline or whatever, that font will help you, in theory. I've never tried the Powerline one. So yeah, this one's called Fura Code apparently, and should work with, well, in theory, should work with Powerline in Vim and anywhere else that Powerline's used. I can't even remember exactly where Powerline's used. No, I've used it in Vim. That's about it. And yeah, we're not gonna mess about too much with that. So let's have a quick look at what we're doing. Hi Fuberius, how are you doing? Okay, I think we've got good evening Voodoo32. Yes, I didn't do my full-on Stephen Fry-esque good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you very much Fuberius. Again, my apologies, I haven't been able to stream for the last week, essentially for a string of different reasons. So we're back, we're live. I've got pathetic lighting. Yeah, we're back and we're right. What happens if I make that light a little bit more like that? Okay, at least things are a little bit more even now. Gosh, if I get one of them green screens, this is going to become hilarious, isn't it? Thank you, Minxie Rose. Situation definitely normal. Definitely all fouled up. So, let's do a quick correction on something I did last time. We now know that the PCH file works and we've got that working. However, we've been working with let me, no, that wouldn't work, would it? Properties. We've been working with Boost, and the Boost directory is in Boost root. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to not bother. In fact, let's be smart. Let's go all configurations, all platforms, include directories. No, we can't just do that, can we? Let's go release all platforms. Take out the Boost root. Debug all platforms. Yes, I do want to change them. Different options. So Win32 is just that, and Active64 is Boost root and include path. And we don't need the Boost root part of it. So why am I doing this? Well, if you remember, we were playing with that VC package, and I gave up on it. Well, I've learned how to not give up on it. So first of all, we download the repository, the VC package repository, to a folder outside of our source directory. And this is where things have been going wrong for me. Then we run the bootstrapper. Then we run, which takes a short while, hence I kind of did this as a Blue Peter job. For those who are from America, think Julia Childs. She apparently does the same trick. It was Blue Peter for us. So we've now done integrate install, which means MS Build Project should now use VC package. And we're still having a bit of an issue with, obviously, Boost isn't installed. Well, that's fine, because what we can now do is go into VC package, install Boost. That will give me the 32-bit version. I will then do the same thing again, but I'll install the x64 version of it, and then we should be all fine and dandy and have a package manager for C++ things. Yeah, Voodoo, that's probably not going to be happening. Just to keep everyone up to date, I was pondering whether to move this stream into a more mature, tick that mature stream button. And then all of a sudden, a bit of bad language would come out. And there'd be a bit more... It'd be a bit more adult. Having discussed it with some fellow streamers in the excellent Live Coder stream team, which consists of about 40 excellent streamers and then myself, for some reason. Probably because I asked and they said yes. So I think we're going to stick with the reasonably tight rulings in here, just because it seems to be, a nice way of keeping things. Joker, you got a new CPU, motherboard, and RAM yesterday. That's always an exciting day. Did you remember to build it using tweezers that look very, very, very much like cable ties? Or, did we not follow that build video? Please tell me you didn't follow that build video. You mainly use C# and nowadays with Rider. Doesn't have issues with Fire Code. I haven't played much with Rider on the grounds that I can't get a free version of it. So I'm not going to, I want to play with free stuff. I believe at times you can get hold of a free EAP, but that's neither here nor there. The EAP is free as and when it's on show. is everything coming through okay? I ask because I have a little block in my OBS that's green most of the time that seems to be going shades of yellow and orange. And I don't know what that block is. So, if it's probably when things are moving around on screen, you know. That's sending it. Oh, hello. Yeah. I'd forgotten that Windows had that shake feature, so let me bring everything back. It's CPU usage. Is it though? Hubblebot is not on Minx Zeros. Let's have a look at my CPU usage. Let's change that to logicals because I like to see more and more graphs. Ah, yes, I see. It has been spiking usage. Okay. What we're probably doing then is, yeah, I think it's doing quite an amount of compilation as well. We need to keep an eye on this. If the stream does start dipping out or, you know, you start losing quality, let me know. And I will see what I can do about improving that. Yeah, Hubblebot isn't on. I mean, I'm going to have to do some more chatting because while I blue petered this part of it, I forgot that this was going to take a while and I forgot that I hadn't got this installed. Because I actually have it installed under a different user account. So this is per user. Thank you very much for the host, Yak Pie. Just waiting to see if it comes up on my other screen as an alert. And if anyone shouts out, nah, I knew I'd forgotten to do something. Let's drop that volume. That's better. Oh, why would you have clicked the wrong link there, Voodoo? I don't have a twin. I don't have a twin. I have step siblings, and yeah, my sibling situation's complicated. Like, way more so than most people would ever think it could be. Yeah. Go on then, because I know you're going to want to say, Joko. Did you go to the Nines and get the what did you do for your motherboard, RAM, and CPU? Did you do it up to the Nines? Might as well ask questions. I mean, this is going to take a while, and then I'm going to have to do it all again for 64-bit. Because if you think I'm running this only in x86, you've got another thing coming. I run 64-bit. I'm probably not going to use that much RAM, in fairness. You've switched to AMD. Yeah, a fair few people have done that. I did that back in, I want to say, October. No doubt Minxie Rose will remember the date. I think the last AMD machine I had was... I did work this out, actually. It will have been 12 years ago. Nice. Yeah. The Ryzen machines are great. I love mine. Oh gosh, you can't see part of the power shell. To be fair, there's nothing really much to see there. But, hey, might as well make sure you can all see it. Yeah, it was when we went to overclockers. Does he support AVX 512? I don't think so, no. I don't think we can get AVX 512 yet. I think if you want that with AMD, you're looking more towards waiting for a while. Yeah, so Intel have got AVX 512 in there. Let's have a look at what's claiming support for it. That's all the... Yeah, I don't see anything AMD supporting it yet. Yeah, I'd have... You could always go... no, Intel are now supporting it on... Well, I know Skylake X has got it. Cascade Lake, Cannon Lake. So I think if we scroll up, yeah, the Core X's have got it. So Fuel Stable, yeah, Intel supports it on Skylake X. And what we're saying about SP, yeah. So it includes the Core X series. So, yeah, the i9 will have it, the i7 9800X. The top end Intels have got it. Let's just make sure that we've got everything out. Oh, no. You did not need an upgrade that desperately running on i7 3770s. And 3570 you might want an upgrade soon if you're stable. I was on a 2600K streaming. I was on Sandy Bridge. And I still maintain that's still a good machine. Just wasn't quite holding up to the streaming rigor. So, yeah. Oh, hang on. We're getting a lot of CPU usage now. At some point, I might have to start dedicating cores to OBS. Can we do that? Can we start dedicating cores to applications? I don't know about that stuff. I really should have installed Boost like this before stream. In fact, here's a question. I downloaded Boost and it was very simple. It was just an extraction job. Why is this taking a lot of build time? And we are going for one version older of Boost, by the way. We're going for 1.69 because that's what's in vcpkg. For one Unity project to rebuild, you needed to wait up to 1 to 2 minutes per change, Joko. How well do you know Unity, Joko? Or Jokoho? Yeah, Jokoho. I've played with Unity a very, very small amount, and I would like to get into... Joko's fine, cool. I thought it was. I thought you'd mentioned that. I've never really played much with Unity, and I'd like to play about with making games, but not sort of 3D, not run and jump, more kind of essentially card games. What? Boost coroutine. Fuel Sable, I'm just installing Boost. I've just said install Boost. What I should have done had I been intelligent about it, and what we might try for the 64-bit one, because I really don't fancy waiting this long again, is I might see if we can just install Boost Spirit. Hi Noodles, how are you? I'm glad to see that you're back. So far, this is Blue Screen Stream, where we install Boost using vcpkg. So instead of downloading and unzipping and having a Boost root in the include path, it's apparently easier to do this, and I'm starting to think it would be quicker, or it was quicker probably, the way we did it. But hey, you know what? Let's stick with it because it's... Hang on, we're at a package 94 out of 144. This is going to take a while, isn't it? And it's now not hammering the CPU as hard as it was. Why is it not doing it like this? Why is it not doing things in parallel? Does anyone know why vcpkg doesn't want to work in parallel? vcpkg parallel compilation. Yeah, it's... Okay, Ninja creates less processes, which is good. Let's have a look at some docs. Let me see. So we do that. We've done the integrate install. We've done the vcpkg install. In Visual Studio, I mean, this is one thing. In VS, all our installed libraries are immediately ready to be included. Oh yeah, we can add tab completion. Ooh, let's play with tab completion. Let's see what that's like. Minxie Rose. Yeah, I get why you don't want to discuss them. I'm basically wanting to create a computer version of that one, though. Joko, excellent. If I'm doing something that isn't kind of your traditional, I don't know, 3D game, well, your traditional kind of character game, if you like, so platformer, racer, that kind of thing. What's Unity like? Do you have to fight against it, or will it bend reasonably to one's will? I do know that Unity is usable for creating card games in, because I know that Magic Arena was done in Unity, or I believe it was. And I know that Unreal has a card game pack out, because I managed to grab it for free when it was on a freebie. So yeah, there's that kind of thing. The card game's super easy. Ooh, nice. Do you know what, Joko? I might have a play with that, because so far I've been using... this is a project I'm doing off stream. I have been doing just straight SFML and doing it in C++. But even things like dragging and dropping is something that you've got to code yourself, and it's not as easy as it looks like it should be. So I might have to move across to something like Unity or Godot or whatever. Minxie Rose, partly for this one, I don't want to commit myself to actually seeing the whole thing through. It's a big project that I'm not overly keen on showing off, and also it uses it uses things that are owned by other people, so it's really something I want to do privately just to try it rather than make public. Otherwise I've got to essentially invent my own card game rather than working with someone else's IP. Thank you for that, Joko. Voodoo, if you want to see someone do that, Handmade Hero. There's an excellent stream, Handmade Hero, that Casey Muratori is doing. He's on episode 540 something at the moment, and he's writing a game in C, well, C++, but mainly C, as in he's using operator overloading and constructors, destructors in C++ to help him out. And he's writing a complete production quality game from scratch. He's got OpenGL into it now, but he originally did a software-based renderer to show how renderers work. Really goes into incredible detail, like every line of the code. And if you pre-buy the game, you get the included source code free of charge, which I've done. Yet Naysayer 88 is Jonathan Blow. You may not have heard of him, but he was lead on The Witness. Also, he's creating a language called Jai, specifically really to replace C and C++. In fact, Casey and John worked together quite a lot on The Witness. Casey did some work on it. Yes, he also did Braid. I've yet to play either, so please don't spoil them for me. But they look fantastic. Yes, it was very, very early on in the Xbox Arcade days. Of course it was. I do have a copy of Braid. I have a copy of The Witness as well. But I haven't yet played them. If your snables checked out Boost coroutine, pretty ambitious. Using Boost context for fiber support implemented in Boost. So it is Boost all the way down. Cool, so vcpkg. Okay, so we can installing and using, packaging them up. Okay, cool. The only issue here is, have we got to... Hi, Zukiji, how are you doing? Glad to see you in chat. Can we throw some hellos into Zukiji's... in for Zukiji, please? And yes, nice use of the puppy. Nice use of the hypey hype. Guys that did a card game on the Ludum Dare Jam. Yeah, I don't blame you, Minxie Rose. I know that one well. You see, if I were comfortable in any of the game dev tools, I'd stream a Ludum Dare for a laugh. I'd be up for it. Unfortunately, it would mean taking time off work to some degree, so I'd have to be careful doing it. But yeah, I would like to do one. Let's just see how far we are through this. 134. Do you know what? On stream, we're going to work in x86, and if anyone catches me swapping to 64-bit, shout at me, because I'm not going through this again. I mean, we're nearly half an hour into the stream, and I've done nothing. Oh, Zukiji's got hyped and high on coffee. You got big news. What big news have you got? Go on, you can't just say you got big news and leave us hanging like that now, Zukiji. It just isn't the right thing. Do tell, do tell. In fact, let me go over there. Oh, do you know what? I think I know what's going on, Zukiji, because I think you've posted it in the tavern. If it's what I think it is, feel free to share that link in chat. Share that link in chat, please, Zukiji. It shouldn't stop you. If it does, I will shout at the bots. But yes, people here, I think, will appreciate that link. I've not yet seen what Zukiji's link is, as in I haven't seen the first series of it, but it does look like something that we need to, that will appeal to everybody. Have you got a link to Series 1 just to sort of show more about what it's about? By any chance? Because it's sorry, it's on the Kickstarter page. I should read that because I should actually be a reasonable streamer. I should not be the bad streamer that I am. Right, that was 18.5 minutes. Let's do something here. Let's go and search boost, and it'll come out with that. Let's say boost spirit. That's going to be x64 Windows. Just to see. Wow, that's still 68 packages. We're not going to wait for that. What we are going to do is make sure that everything still works in x86 mode. And let's fire up the bot. It does look super cool. You are completely right, Noodles. It really does. x64, Fuberius. vcpkg only seems to install one architecture at a time. We made it work with... We installed the x86 stuff. We didn't install the x86 64, the 64-bit stuff. Or what, for some reason, some people call x64, even though it isn't x64. Okay, so the bot's running. Minxie Rose did roll and 4. Anyone surprised that Minxie Rose rolled a 4? No, thank you very much for asking, Zukiji. But yeah, please, people do ask first. I really do. I do appreciate it when people do ask before they promote. But once you've asked and whatever, some people I'm just going to let promote because some people are pretty awesome. And Zukiji, you are an awesome, awesome person. In fact, you've been here quite a bit, haven't you? Let's do a thing. Yeah, definitely shout outs for Zukiji. Zukiji, quick question. You're on the spot now. Do you swear on stream or not? Have you got that mature flag ticked on your stream? You do. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. Okay. Just that. I mean, this is a discussion we've had over in Discord. Voodoo, you're just being a child now, aren't you? I'll call you out now because you're starting to be a little bit trolly. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if people want to swear on their streams, that's absolutely fine. It's just that with me not having that mature tag, I'm a bit funny about kind of raiding and hosting people with that mature tag. I don't know whether I'm being a bit funny over it for a good reason or whether it's just me being me. I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you, Zukiji. Now that I know that you don't really swear, I might sort of say to people, if I do come and raid you, look, I know he's got the mature tag on, I'm not responsible for what he says, but you know what? I've not heard him swear, so yeah, take your chances, kind of thing. Yes, you did. You did play Sekiro. I have yet to play that. Zakiji, any game brings me close to the edge. Any game whatsoever. I can't play games. I think I've had this discussion with people here many times. You know, I admire you for playing that. I admire Sethers for playing Darkest Dungeon. Our friend Old Man Sethers, who is a variety streamer, who streams a variety of Darkest Dungeon. And if you want to clip that, Zakiji, so you can send it to him to wind him up, please feel free. I can barely play Stardew. I can't play Stardew. It confuses me, Minxie Rose. I can't play Stardew. I can't play games. There is one game I can play. I can play City Skylines. And there goes the tumbleweed. Oh gosh. By the way, anyone, if you do clip anything from here, do drop it in the Discord, please. Zakiji, I wouldn't be able to play a game I programmed. I am trying to get to grips with games programming. No, wouldn't be able to play it. I can't. I'm not even a games programmer. It's not for me yet. I'm trying. I'm learning slowly. Anyway, Boost is installed. Boost Spirit is installed. So now, in theory, if I kill the bot and fire it up in 64-bit mode, it should all work nicely. Minxie Rose, I can play the game. That's about all I'm going to say is I can play Skylines. So let's fire up the bot again. Well, apparently... Oh, build succeeded, cool. And Zoo Tycoon and No Voodoo 32. Catch up. That's a meme that is much, much older than most people. Yeah, yes, Minxie Rose, the bot is running. Yes, someone said Zoo, Zakiji. Someone did say Zoo. Have you seen the trailer to Planet Zoo yet for people who like zoo games? Because Planet Zoo looks amazing. There you are. I am using a whole 3 megabytes of RAM. Ladies and gentlemen, the bot is running on 3 megabytes of RAM. And I haven't even got round to trying to optimise anything yet. So what we've done is we've done half an hour of streaming and absolutely no coding, which makes me happy because I haven't fluffed anything yet. Touch wood. Minxie Rose checking the bot works. Well, another way to check the bot works, you know, is just to roll a random number. And I apparently rolled a 4. Okay, so we have a working bot. We have our precompiled headers there. That's a good question, Fuel Snable. Let's fire the bot up in release mode, shall we? See what we've broke. Whoa, 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 whoa. Has everyone's auto host ended? Who was everybody hosting? Because we have thank yous to Codebase Alpha, Dev Chat, and Matthew D. Groves, Lucky Number 7, James Montemagno, Talk to Me Gooseman, My Multi Extruder, Kasukan, and Pixelogic Dev for hosts. So that really sounds like someone big's gone offline. And boom. To answer your question, Fuel Snable, no, it doesn't. Wow. How do we even debug this? How do we begin to debug this? Minxie Rose, let's go slightly off topic. It is a perfectly random number. It is an incredibly random number. Joko, so is Kerbal Space Program, another game that I really enjoy. Oh, Hearthstone's Unity, so that's another card game that's Unity. GitHub, yeah, Fuel Snable. I thought I'd sent you the link. I thought I posted it. Let me just go. I've got to be careful which one it is. That looks like it's the public one to me. So give that a go. Joko, it's not working at the moment. It's paused on a breakpoint. To answer Minxie Rose's question, how random is it? Well, the random number was 4, chosen by Fair Dice Roll, guaranteed to be random. So yes, it is. It uses that random algorithm. Fuel Sable, you're correct. As far as I'm aware, Magic the Gathering Arena is Unity. Voodoo, there is nothing. I don't understand the link between one's quote-unquote manliness and coding one's own engine. As a software developer, I'm a big believer of reuse, and if people have already done that work, then maybe there's an argument that says that as they've released it, it's there to be reused. On the flip side, I understand that knowing how things work is handy, but I really don't like the notion that just because you do something in a different way to somebody else, that in any way would diminish your achievements and diminish who you are as a person. So please sort of back off on that kind of comment. Have I heard of St. Terry Davis? No, I have not. Would you care to enlighten us, please? But yeah, Fuel Sable, the link I've just stuck in chat, that is this. You will still need to have your boost route set because I haven't pushed up the the version that we've just worked with. Zukiji, it's not a Strim moment. Zukiji, the horn command, because you'll understand this, is to be used in this stream in exactly the same way that Strim is to be used in Sethas's chat. So, you know, if let's use the classic example because I do it so often. If I'm in that scene and I've got to try and rebuild my Stream Deck stand because it just collapsed. You knew that wasn't a command, cool. I was going to say, for anyone, you know, who wants to know why that horn command exists and why it's probably not going to be usable by too many people. Yeah, I'm glad you got that. Cool. I will do this explanation anyway. The horn command is essentially to be used if I'm here and I'm programming away and you can't see that I'm programming away because I'm on this scene instead of on that scene. That's when you use the horn command. Yeah, it's for when I am bad streamer. No, actually, let me rephrase that. It's when I am a particularly bad streamer. It's for when I am absolutely badly streaming. But, you know, Seth has said steal ideas from him, so ideas have been stolen from him. Which reminds me, I need a Raiders command. I ought to do that. At least I got coffee. Yeah, I got coffee. Joko, yeah, I mean, it's horses for courses. I think some games, yeah, probably ought to be in their own engines. Some games, yeah, in other engines. But certainly if you're prototyping or if you're just proving a concept, then as long as using an engine is fine because, well, if you're prototyping a game and to do it in another engine would be easier than writing your own, then cool, do it. And then make the decision. Terry Davies is apparently a saint because he spent his entire life writing his own operating system, compiled language, kernel, 3D API, text renderer. I know which operating system this is. Yeah, I do know what operating system that is, I think. I think I've just clicked. But yeah, I mean, it's like this project. We started this project by going, you know what? I don't want to use external libraries. We've now gone and started using Boost, which means at some point we're probably going to, you know, move the socket implementation off WinSock and onto Boost sockets. It was nice to know how to do the WinSock thing, but now that we've accepted that we're using Boost, it might be handy to try and make this cross-platform at some point. Anyway, how do we go about debugging this in release mode? I think we already had a look at this, and it was this exception that was thrown. Now, what does this actually call? Let's throw a breakpoint there actually. See if we can debug into here. No. So access violation when reading a location. I think we've already had a look at what's around this area and it's not particularly interesting. Yeah, what happens if we just let it carry on? No, it's just going to loop and all the rest of it. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, Joko, don't forget, you know, Half-Life is based on its own engine. And then Half-Life 2 is on the Source engine, which got released. And I do think that there's a lot of value in people who... hang on, sorry. I think there's a lot of people who seem to want to build an engine for the sake of building an engine, rather than a lot of people who want to who are building a game and then pull an engine out of it. I don't know. I just think it would be nice to be able to pull an engine out of a game rather than try and write an engine for the sake of writing an engine. Okay, so let's think about this. So this part, let's see what we actually get here. This is going to be interesting. Let's break it there. Let's have a look. I do just wonder if we're calling this function when we shouldn't. Let's go and have a look at the locals. So at a list is an allocator. Standard allocator of car. Hang on, what was at a list supposed to be? It is a string, but it's a... So let's go up to attributes 4. Match 1. Matches of size 0. Okay, oh, I'm pronouncing it car now. You've just said that, Voodoo. Nah. Our problem is match is size 0, so we're getting no matches straight up. So, right, I know what's happening here. What we've actually done is... I mean, what was the reply? The reply was... Oh, gosh, hang on. I can't get anything in here. Can I not just read a simple... Can I not just simply read a string? A standard basic string, and I can't even just pull out what that is. Can I? Why? What's going on? I mean, I've got sizes and things. I've got a BX, I've got a buffer. A pointer. Ah, hello. This looks interesting. Yeah, so we've got that back, and we don't have everything that we need. So, right, what's happening is something that I was relying on doesn't really work. So, let's say that we need to parse this reply a little bit better. So the regex search, the regex is that, which is for the private message. Now, obviously, if we're not doing a private message, this match returns no matches, which means that we'll parse that attribute and it won't work. So one thing that we've got an interesting conversation about now is why did this work in debug mode? Now, my belief, and I'm again going to say something potentially silly, why this works in debug mode. In fact, let's prove the point. Let's throw it into debug mode. So we'll go there, we'll get the reply back, and we're here. Now match has size 0, that's fine. So match is size 0, yeah, and in the watch we can go match at 1. And no operator matches these operands. What's it moaning about now then? Because match should, that operator should work. Let's have a look at the address of match. So the address of match is there, and it's just filling stuff in with noughts. So what match 1 means is actually the address of... Oh, are we buffering? Are we back again, Minxie Rose? Let me know if we're back again. Joker didn't have buffering. Minxie Rose, is this at your end then? Essentially, what is match? I can never remember what match actually is. What did we declare match to be? It's an S match. Size of stud S match. So what I'm trying to say is in debug mode, because we're zero clearing the memory out, it's happily going to the right pointer. So it's not failing. This line should never actually have worked. It's just that we're assuming that we get matches. So let's go if match, well, size of, how do we do this? Regex search. What does regex search actually return? Returns a bool, doesn't it? So why don't we go if we find that, then we do all of this. Because otherwise it's just not going to work. So this being said, let's try and run this in release mode again. What massive delay are we having? We should be on low latency settings. I am pretty slow though, in fairness. Okay, so what's actually happening now is what should always have happened. So we're in release mode. So if I ask for a random in release mode, there we are, it's hitting that parse, but at a parser is a parser, begin and end, both seem to exist. So let's have a look at the at a list, which is there, allocator, raw view, myval2, bx, pointer, and it's pointing to that lot. Okay, so I've killed the breakpoint. That's now running. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, no. I have also... The stream quality is creeping up. Do we have transcoding people? Because if we can get to the point where we've got transcoding more often than not, I could whack the stream quality right up. Oh, unhandled exception. Wow! So that's actually not the issue per se. Oh, that's a bit not nice. So at a parser is happy. At a list exists and it's got a begin and an end. Okay. At a list begin That's a function at a list end is also a function. So we're passing the right things in, and it's again that particular address that it's having an issue with. Access violation reading it, which I agree, that looks wrong. That looks like it's probably code, so let's have a glance at the disassembly. Let's get rid of that for now. Can I get straight to the disassembly of this? Can I straight paste the string that's being parsed? Let me just... Let me grab the interesting part of it. It's that, which parses fine. We've done this before. And let's have a look at what the address of all of this is. Is this to do with... I mean, where's begin? Begin is that function. Has no address, possibly due to compiler optimizations. Okay. Have we got an ownership issue here? Have we got something like an access after free? Is this potentially it? I don't know. Yeah, because that a list is there. And I mean, we can go up to there and we can see that that's the address we should be going to. So surely at a list begin should just work there. Shall we just inline this? I suspect, Minxie Rose, this is a me problem. Boost is a library. One thing I do know about Boost is that it's been around for a very, very, very long time. Is incredibly well tested. Is used by a lot of people. If Boost had got a problem in release mode, it would have been fixed. People would have dealt with it pretty quickly. Just, yeah, I mean, again, we've got an unhandled exception at that address. Can I have a look at the disassembly there? So it's trying to stick RAX somewhere. Trying to move into RAX, what RAX points to. Let's go and have a glance at the registers. RAX is that address there. So how did RAX get given that? RCX plus 8. So what's RCX at the moment? It's there. So that address contains what? That address contains I don't know. Yeah, that's out of range. Oh, invalid octal digit. CWDE. So I'm just wondering, now this just looks like it randomly hit that. Okay. So what's going on here? Zakiji, don't worry, I don't understand either at the moment. It's ignorance, but in the nicer sense of the term. In the more real sense. So what are we actually trying to do there? It's in that parse line. What's at that location that RCX is pointing to? Where's RCX pointing? That's pointing to something that looks pretty gibberishy to me. How did RCX get given that? RCX was RBP plus something else. Okay, so what's in wherever RBP is? So RBP, that again doesn't help. So what's going into RBP? What is RBP? Is that the bottom of... No, it doesn't look like it's the bottom of RBX or anything like that. And RBP was probably filled up another way. I genuinely don't know what's going on here then. Does anybody have any idea why this is crying? Let's start a live share session. Let's have some fun. Yes, you can get through the firewall. Yes. Do whatever you need to do. Can I set this live share session up to be read only? Because I am... Oh, active session is currently open. Okay. Active session is currently open. So how do I get that? Alright, so... Share term, copy a link. Can I not make this read only before giving you guys a link? In fact, let's end that. Let's re-kick it off and see if I get the option to make this You got the same crash, Fuel Snable. Glad to see that you've got the same crash. Make read only. Cool. So if anyone does want to play, that's a... that I wondered if that would be the case, Fuel Snable. There's a link to the live share for this stream. So compiler optimization. So what's being optimized away that shouldn't be? Or more to the point, what am I assuming isn't being optimized away that is? So this, correct me if I'm wrong, are we looking at references here being something that's of interest? At a parser is that. Do you know what? Let's, for now, let's say that we're not going to have the, oh gosh, what have I done there? That's better. Let's see what happens in release mode if we don't use, if we don't fill the results. Let's see if we've got some form of use after free or something like that. So we're firing up. I shall stick something in the chat. It probably... Now it goes bang, but it goes bang somewhere else. What's the... Yeah, you guys can't see each other's email addresses. That's good. So where's the call stack here? The call stack goes... That's the last part of my code. So we're still having an issue. So it's going into there, into the iterator, parse, yada yada yada. And then we've got an access violation reading a location. Well, that location's never going to be happy, is it? Let's have a look at the locals in here. I'm not seeing much. What's this E coming out as? What's E in this case? Undefined! Yay! We love this. No, we don't. Oh no, we do not. Okay, so let's go back to our previous thoughts. Come out of the parse headers, come out of boost, go into our stuff. And Fuel Snable's got a good idea there. Let's try turning off optimization. I say that's a good idea. The one thing I now have to do is go how, because it's me. Hang on. Release Win32 has got VC include path. Oh, that's fine. So CC++ optimization. Let's suggest that we turn it to. Let's try OX first off and see what happens. Then we might try O1 and then we might try something else. Oh, code generation? I was going to say I'm looking at optimization. Yes, I did do the x64 downloads. Because that was, I only did Spirit at x64. I mean, what I should do now is do the rest of Boost in the background. So we're online, random, and that's gone wrong. Okay, so that optimization level isn't working for us. Let's go back and go for, let's just clobber optimization and say disabled. Okay, so we've got optimization disabled. Let's see what happens now if I ask for a random one in release mode. I would certainly now not call this release mode because we've got no compiler optimizations going whatsoever. I mean, what this is telling me is it looks like we are optimizing something away. We're not telling the compiler that it's not allowed to optimize away. And yet, without optimizations, that works. So, a big question to ask would be, why does this not work with optimization? What am I optimizing away that I shouldn't be? And it is in the parser, or I would assume it's in the parser, because it's not, even when this isn't running, the optimization is still failing. So I don't think it's that code there. I mean, we're passing in a constref. Lines 38 and 40, Voodoo, are parser combinators. So, if you'd have watched we went over this last Sunday, but I'll go over it quickly now. Char underscore matches any character, minus the equal sign because we don't want to match an equal sign in this position. Plus for I want to match one or more. There's your capture group. And then we want to get an equal sign. And then we want 0 or more characters that are not semicolons. So that's how we get a key value pair. So it matches any amount of characters from 1 or more, then an equal sign, then any amount of characters 0 or more, then a semicolon. Well, it doesn't actually match the semicolon. It's any character 0 or more that aren't a semicolon. So that's how we get a single key value pair. And then the attribute list goes, we know we're going to get one key value pair, and then we're going to get 0 or more semicolons followed by another key value pair. So it's key value pair, or key value pair, semicolon, key value pair, or semicolon, or key value pair, semicolon, key value pair, semicolon, key value pair, ad infinitum. Thank you very much for that host as well, C# Fritz. I don't know if my alerts aren't going off or if it's just the kind of thing that isn't setting alerts off. I'm rather... Oh, wait, I don't know. Is Streamlabs working for other people, or am I just not getting Streamlabs alerts these days? I'll have to send a test alert at some point. I'm going to go off for a break in a moment anyway. The important part here is that these parsers are just refusing to work nicely at the moment with essentially a null ref. is there any way we could... Well, that's a struct, that's kvp parser is a expression. That at a parser. Let's just quickly glance and go boost spirit QI, because it's chi that we're using. Combining parsers. So can we? That's not great. Okay, that's raw and symbols. Essentially, what I'd like to see is, are we doing something? Are we goofing somewhere here? Well, we are goofing somewhere, but what are we? Where are we goofing? Hi there, Danny Crom 5. How are you doing? Yeah, the boosty beastie, the beast of Bodmin Boost. What I'm wondering, just to try and get everyone in the frame, is if this being used here and then being used in here that way, is that having an effect? Because this looks scarily like a null ref. Hang on, what's this moaning about? Conversion from size t to int. Okay, let's get rid of some of these warnings at least. What's this moaning about now? Initializing. Well, that one we've dealt with. Argument conversion from size t to int. So send takes an int length and an int flags. And length is coming back as a size t. Okay, so let's cast that to an int because we know that's what we're doing. This is probably the same kind of thing here. Connect takes an int name length. Well, that's not an int, that's a size t. So let's again cast that. I don't think this will have any bearing on the situation, but we might as well try and decrease the amount of warnings that we've got. This kind of function may not throw declare it no except. Now I'm not touching stuff within boost, so all of this looks like it's internal to boost, and as such something that we don't want to be messing about with. That's fine. I'm happy to leave boost alone. I've still got the question of what to do here. Because we've got vectors of car, we've got the pair, that's fine. I've done that. And in release mode, we're still going to have, well, we might not have an issue because I'm not sure what optimizations we've got set. So apparently we're not optimizing at the moment. And if I bring optimization back in, go back to O2, favor speed, because that would be reasonable. Fire this back up again. And yeah, a Twitch bot in C++, indeed. A Twitch bot in C++ that up until the other week used to have the tagline essentially, a Twitch bot in pure C++. However, given that string parsing in native C++ is horrible, yeah, there we are, it's already given us an issue. It's given us the issue there, that's fine. So we get all the way down to there before we get the issue this time. And if I bring back in our parser, if I bring back in the semantic action, this in theory should give us a slightly different result again. Why am I force inlining it? What am I force inlining? Because I'm not sure that I'm forcing anything to inline. Traits.hpp. Okay, the fact that okay, that's set it bang and it's banged there. I'm not. Build, rebuild. Traits.hpp is not my file. That's within Boost. So that is Boost's own file. That's nothing to do with me at all. This is all Boost code and hence probably a lot nicer than mine. This is all templates. Then again, traits, yeah, it would be templates. I am rather confused about this. I don't know as it's a Boost problem. It could be a Gareth memory management issue is where I'm thinking right now. Boost Spirit. I just want to see if if there's any history of MSVC giving it an issue. No, that's not. If it's a dumb user error, it's a dumb user error because it's me. Boost Spirit X3. I just wonder if we can do it to move across to that. No, not going to do it. Let's not even go there. Oh, hello. Hello. What's going on here? If I mark that as no inline. Okay. This is interesting. Is everybody seeing what I'm seeing? Is everybody seeing what I am seeing? Okay, so apparently a fix for this issue has been released. Install most recent release, yada yada yada. Have I got any updates for this then? Because that looked very much like the issue, didn't it? Am I running an old version of this? Well, hang on. There's a way of doing something here. I could do something half intelligent. VS Community 2019 is up to date. Let's try VS 2017. Let's see if there is a compiler error that VS 2017 hasn't got an issue with. Let's open the solution. Watch me not have all of this. This might not be a Boost problem. I'm still wondering if it's a me problem, Minxie. I don't think it's a Boost problem. What I am wondering is it an MSVC problem? No, don't show the error message. Go away. Oh, of course I need to install. Yeah, I didn't think I got that in there. Has anyone tried this on a different compiler? On MSVC different versions? Because this could be. This looks like a very similar issue. I mean, let's try these guys' workaround as well. Their workaround is... So we define this somewhere. And in sequence base... do we ever end up going through sequence base? Do we ever go through sequence base? What's the title? What is the title to what? The title to this bug is x64 optimization code gem bug in the latest compiler versions. They're claiming fixed in VS 2019. So I do wonder if this is something to do with it. So let's go to this parse impl. I mean, I know that we use that parse impl. The issue is that we see it in x86 as well. You have a good point there. Let's kill VS 2017. Let's go back to 2019, and let's just prove that we see this still in x86. Let's have a look at this in x86, because to be fair, I don't see a huge amount of value carrying on with too much of this until we have this nailed down. Yeah, you're right. We do see this in x86. And at some point, so we're in a fold in. We're in a reverse fold impl. So who calls this? Make binary. Who calls this? Proto switch. Who transform? Compiler stuff. Compile. So this is when it's trying to compile the. This is parsing, but you'll notice detail parse impl, which is in Boost Spirit QI. Parse impl, which is Boost Spirit QI detail. Where was this looking? Boost Spirit QI sequence base parse impl. So we weren't. So we're not in here at all, are we? This isn't where we're going. Where are we here though? This is the state machine. And it's this line, e.child1. So what is E itself? Child 1, child 0, child 1, unable to read memory. Unable to read memory. Unable to read memory. So we've got a dollar sign there, a dollar sign there, a tag there, unable to read memory. So we're trying to get to something that hasn't been set up at all. And wow, what a tree! What a tree we found. But yeah, everything this side is just nothing. So that is just completely bombing us out. I mean, what is state 2? Okay, so the locals are E. So what's going on here? I very much doubt this is the problem, but let's get rid of the precompiled headers for now. I very much doubt it's this, but I've heard enough people moan about precompiled headers that I'm just getting rid of them just for now. I mean, I expect, and I'm right, that this will still go bang, and it did. So that's not the answer. That's fine. We can stick those back in. Boost, spirit, reverse, fold, impul. Storing expression by value. Is moaning. ASAN address. That's a point. How do we? Can we do an address sanitization or something like that? Does that help? Proto creates references to parsers even in constructors. Okay. Proto creates references. This is a proto issue. What is proto then? What is this proto of which we speak? Anybody? Anybody at all? Because this is not looking like a particularly nice thing here. Time parser is that. Well, another couple of things is the const there might, even if they're not going to be particularly handy, are something that we ought to be sticking in anyway, I would assume. Just out of the whole sort of let's be good citizens. So shall we do const there, const auto that. But can we? Would we be best off copying these? Are these values or are these references at the moment? And does it matter? Okay, let's take a different approach, shall we? Let's suggest that we're going to manually inline this. Which is not particularly pretty to look at, but that's kind of what I assume that the compiler either wants to do or has done. So let's have a look at it at release 86 mode and see if this helps us. Build started. Yes, this will take a while because I got rid of the precompiled headers, so I've only just brought them back in. Hubblebot's now online. Random number, please, Hubblebot. And it's saying no. Okay, so that's not the issue. Let's get rid of that awful line of code that we should never have to look at. This is getting annoying that in release mode with optimization we can't seem to do this. I don't know why this is. What shall we do? I'm thinking after the break, I'm thinking of taking a 5-10 minute break, something like that. Then after that break, let's go and have a look at making sure at building this out. So let's make the assumption that at some point we can make this work. Fuel samples crashing in debug mode. That's actually very good to hear, believe it or not. A lot of people might not believe me. Oh, bother, I haven't got the Vim extension installed. Oh well. I shall have to have that installed on this as well at some point. So what? Oh. What do we think? Shall I take a few minutes break, which I would suggest as well, everybody else, please take a fuel takes a break. Get yourselves up out of the chair, have a bit of a wander round, grab yourself a drink, all the rest of it, and then we'll reconvene in about 5 minutes. I'm getting a crash deep inside boost, but I'm only getting it in release mode. Getting it in debug mode's quite nice. Joko, I think you can probably work out why we're happy about it crashing in debug mode. Essentially, I want this to be as consistent as possible. The fact that we can break it in release mode and not debug mode scares me. To be able to break it in debug mode as well, at least means that we've got something consistent. And it's breaking. Have you broken it in debug mode, Fuel Snable, without optimization? Can you turn optimization off and still get the same crash? Because if you can do that, we can kind of rule optimization out to some degree and look at what's actually going on. I mean, I presume that there are people here who know more about C++ than I do, that if they saw me doing something like a use after free or something in that range, you'd be able to tell me there's a use after free. You did it by moving the parser into global variables. So at the moment we've got that. Yeah, so that's still working. So what we're saying that Fuel Snable did is something similar. Let's recreate this on here. Let's say that what you did was something similar to that, and of course now we need to just throw these in for now. That KVP I'm not that bothered about. And we've now got a parser that should fail. So this is what I guess Fuel Snable did. Hubblebot is now online. And it fails there. Okay, and it actually fails in roughly the same place. That's handy to know. It fails in exactly the same place. Right, Fuel Snable, that's handy. That helps. So, what's going on here? Also, wow, there's issues there. Same line, the pointer is a rook of C's. Rook of C's, I think, is something that MSVC clears things to. So, hey, rebuild. Thank you. So, yeah, uninitialized variable. Okay, was what I did just Fuel Snable, similar to what you kind of got? So anyway, as I said a few minutes ago, before we got all excited by Fuel Snable finding a thing, I'm going to go for 5 minutes, grab myself another drink. The coffee mug is looking decidedly empty. That needs fixing. Everyone, stand yourselves up, have a wander around, take care of whatever needs, make sure you get a drink. We have been going for an hour and a half, so make sure that you get yourselves all sorted out, freshened up, and all the rest of it. And I will see you again in approximately 5 minutes. See you soon. Hello everybody, I'm back. I hope everyone's had a good bit of a break, a few minutes just to stretch your legs, make yourselves a brew, whatever. I've gone back for the balanced diet approach of a drink in each hand, because, hang on, brushing against the mic's not good. Because drink in each hand is always the right answer. There we are. Line it up right on the camera, that's better. Camera's in an odd place, it's not in the middle of my monitor. For reasons. Many of them. Thank you very much, Minxie Rose. So, no voodoo. That's not the time to use the horn, because I know I'm there. And also, the bot's not running. So that's fine. So, yeah, again, horn for when I'm in this view wrongly. At the moment, I'm in this view for completely the right reason. Because we're not yapping about what's on screen, we're having a general, gentle chat for a second or two. I must pass a thank you to Zorkenheimer for that host. Zorkenheimer, for those who don't know, tends to work, I think, mostly in 6502 assembly for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Because, of course, that's reasonably high. Wait, was that a swear? What a swear? You didn't hear me swear, did you? I'd be very surprised if you did, Joko. But no, Zorkenheimer normally does 6502 assembly. Nobody said a naughty word, Voodoo. Nobody said a naughty word. Unless someone can clip it, it wasn't proven. And I don't think I did. If I did, I will apologise. But I certainly didn't mean to. No, I very much doubt that you did, to be fair, Joker. I do tend to try and behave on here. Turbo Nautilus, how are you doing? If everyone could welcome in Turbo Nautilus, please and thank you. That would be wonderful. Oh, you can tell who I've been watching earlier with the please and thank you. Right, across to code. So, what we've got so far is Fuel Snable has shown that this, moving out here, it seems to give us an uninitialized variable. Now that's interesting. Shall we just assert that at a list isn't? I mean, oh, you know what it was? Cool. Okay, so yeah, okay, so that isn't a. Oh, for the completely right reason. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, and that was a little mumbly. Fair enough. So we've done our const. I mean, will a const fit there? No, it won't. Okie dokie. Can't overload functions distinguished by return types alone is what that's saying. That's fine, because if I go to parser.h and say, try and make that const as well, just for fun, we'll do it in there. Yeah, it might have sounded like one. I get that, Joker. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so const works there. I don't know if any of us should have been surprised about that. Was it raid or raiders? Oh, it was raid call, wasn't it? The one I was thinking of, where it sends out 4 messages at once. Okay. Yeah, no worries, Joker. You probably speak far better English than I do any other language. In fact, I'm convinced that you do. So let's see if stuffing that const in somewhere did a thing that was a good thing. I very much doubt it, because I can't see why it would. But you know what? We have to try, don't we? And indeed, read access violation, so it didn't. Ever tried German? For a couple of years in high school, yes, we had to learn some German. I don't remember much of it anymore, unfortunately, and it was only a couple of hours a week for 2 years, so very, very little. I have been to Germany though. Went to a place called Boppard. I think it was, or it was around that area. Yeah, I mean, a beautiful, beautiful place. Ah, it was, yeah, that's your native language, German. I really like Germany. as a country. Having been there, it was a lovely place to go. I don't know if you're from Germany. I mean, the German language is it's it's nice to learn because quite an amount of English came from German. We've got Latin influences and German influences. Yeah, you are from Germany. Cool. No, it's really nice. If anybody gets any if anyone gets a chance to go to Germany, it's a well, the parts of Germany that I've been to were lovely. You're from the biggest city in Germany. I'm not going to look up what that is, but nice. Anyway, either way, it looks like sticking that const there hasn't broken anything, which is good. I mean, let's try it in debug mode. Let's make sure that the bot still runs in debug. That might not be a bad... Oh, we did already. Check that. And anyway, didn't we? I did a random call and rolled a 4. Okay. Tsukiji, const. C-O-N-S-T. Yes, I know what that might have sounded like. It wasn't. Get your mind... This isn't Sethas's stream. Get your mind out the gutter. We're not across at the old man's yet. That's in about an hour and a quarter. No, that's about an hour and a quarter away, Tsukiji. Before you start hearing words like that on stream. I know what you thought I said. I know what you're thinking. But this can't be, though, can it? I want to stick the word const in as many places as I can now. I know it can't go there. What does this parse actually return? It returns a bool. You didn't mean to be crash. You were just really surprised. No, I get that. I get that. Don't worry about it. Is const in C++ the same as in C#? From what I can imagine, Joko, it looks like it is. It feels like that. It feels very much like that. Const expr isn't, though. That's an expression that can be computed at compile time. By the way, when I say const expr can be in compile time, that's because you can also do it at runtime. And it's interesting to do at times. So let's get rid of code that is not ours. Let's at least look at bot command does that. I just want to see how much const and const expr stuff I can do now. Fair enough, Fuel Snable. Yeah, that makes sense. That I can't do as a const expr. Okay. Can I do it as a const? Apparently I can. So, Fuel Snable, you might have some idea there. So if I try and do const expr. Hi there, Help Joseph, how are you doing? Then this it is apparently not it's not a literal type, so it can't be used in a const expr, so it can't be done at compile time. But const there is fine. So what does const actually mean? The C++ const declaration. declaring a named constant. So it's something. Fuel Snable. I'll go for it again. What is const in C++? So why can I use const there? I understand why const expert can't be used, because that's not a literal type. But why is const allowed there? Const just means it can't be changed. Okay. Cool. So again, this send message could be const, because that Twitch Center channel is never actually changed. Let's just... I almost wonder if that's constable. Yeah, just because a value can't be changed doesn't mean it's computed at compile time, or can be computed at compile time. What do people think to the idea that for now we're going to ignore the error that we're finding in release mode, with a view to trying to look at it at some point, and that we try and implement this? Because this is something that looks to be potentially really quite nice. So we're eliminating the use of a single equals instead of a double equals. So it basically eliminates, it tries to eliminate that kind of bug. So let's take... So in C++ we don't use const on value returns in general. So let's take that out of there. And out of the parser.h as well. We might as well now chuck that there. What's that moaning about? Can't overload functions distinguished by return type alone. That's confusing to me because we're not just distinguishing by return type, we're distinguishing by name. We have const cast to allow us to mutate const objects. Oh, just to make things awkward, yeah. Members can be declared mutable so that even in const methods we can mutate state. Fair enough. I know the errors decided to clear off. So get the @ sign. Well, this should be reasonably easy. Let's try and build a parser for a Twitch message. So at the moment we're using regex to get everything out. Let's copy that regex into our parser, just so that we've got something to go off. So let's go we're going to want the character parser again. Let's say auto message parser equals, well, the first thing we want is an @. I suspect that this is not going to be happy. So at some point we might have to deal with operator overloading here. Let's grab a set of. Let's grab an example. So it's an at, and then it's the attributes for the atta list. So we need to grab the attribute list and then the space. So I would say that we're looking for anything that's not a space or a colon, or anything that's not a colon. No. Let me think. Is that reasonable? Anything that's not a space, yeah, would have to work, wouldn't it? And in essence, we might actually compose it as parsers. So we might be composing this parser into the larger one somehow. Let me take in some coffee. Yeah, there's also volatile. I don't know how volatile works. I'm sure if I ask 100 people, I'll get 100 different answers on that one. But even if cons can be casted away, yeah, I don't like the idea that it can be casted away. That's weird. And not in a good way, I don't think. So, let's say that for now, we're going to try and grab the attributes for something. Okay, so we're saying that we want to do a nothing. So we're getting the @ sign. I then want to get anything that is not a space, which is fine. Hey Zakiji, enjoy your lurks. If you're multitasking, have fun lurking. We value everybody here. Lurker, chatter, everybody. So no apologising for being slow on replies at all. One of the reasons for using C++ cast rather than C cast is that C++ casts are more specific and they can be searched for, where C casts can do anything and are really tricky to search for. I mean, we have a C-style cast. We have two that I've inserted. One of those is... Here's proof of it. Wherever I threw a cast in to make that not cry. Didn't put it in there? Oh, okay. Entire solution. I know I've did a cast to an int somewhere. So instead of doing that style of cast, what would you do? I mean, the cast there technically isn't needed. It just warns because that's a size T going into an int. So where would you cast? How would you do that? Yeah, have a good look, Zakiji. Make sure you do focus on your work, mate. So we would use static cast. And it's... How does a static cast work? Let's have a look at what static cast is. Static cast is an operator. Oh, static cast is templated. Yeah, we are both very much so. Fuel Snable, apart from being much more explicit as a cast, which I wholeheartedly approve, that is far more explicit than just doing the usual cast that I know of. What kind of advantages do we get from using static cast?
Our community grows.
Thank you very much for that follow, Crazy296. And nice use of emotes there, Zukiji. Yep, again, anyone that wants that yappy dog emote, feel free to drop a sub onto this channel. And if you want that excellent panda emote, do subscribe to Zukiji. Oh, so a static cast here is a cast that... Ah, that's cool. Trash panda. It's not a raccoon. It's not a raccoon. I like the fact that it'll only allow us to cast things that we should be allowed to cast. Searching for it easily. Yeah, cool. Is there anywhere else that I've done? No, I'm not looking in function base. That can go away. So, if I'm tempted to try and do a cast, at least do a static cast, and a const cast can only remove or add console volatile. Oh, that is it looks like a genuine. It looked like a panda to me. Okay, so Zukiji's emote is a raccoon, or as Zukiji puts it, a trash panda. Or as I think was it Thor puts it, a rabbit. Just yeah, for reasons. Okay, static casting there, that works. I'm happy with that. Reinterpret cast says to the compiler, I know what I'm doing, back off. Okay, cool. Anyway, we've got a message parser which does that. Now that's going to pass to a semantic action that's going to call this attributes for at some point, I suspect. So for now, let's just call it, pass it to something called attrs. That doesn't yet exist, but we can make that exist. Then we're going for anything that's anything that's not an exclamation mark now, aren't we? Because that's going to be the username. I'm thinking at this point we can abuse the fact that, yeah, we're not using semicolons. Yeah, that's cool. So let's use the kind of things that we've enjoyed in F#. Let's do that. Now that we've got the user, we should really go for parsing anything that's... Can we parse basically just discard until we get to a string? So this is what we've done so far is at anything, grab the username, then what I want to do is just discard all of that lot. Now, for now, we can always do this the same way that we did before. So we can go that. In fact, there's nothing saying that that doesn't make sense. So anything that's not a @ sign, then we want the @ sign. Then we want anything that's not a dot. So we've gone at key value pair, username, username, anything that's not a dot to get us up to there. And I'm sure at some point we can refactor this. Hi there, Moiku, how are you doing? Please, everyone, say a great big welcome to Moiku, one of our friends across who helps moderate in Old Man Sethas's channel. So for the sort of teaching stuff that we do, the F-sharp stuff, Moiku knows about the streamer we're doing that with. I am not myself, thank you very much for that, host. Glad to hear you're well, Moiku. I'm not too bad, thank you. Hopefully I shall be joining you guys later in Sethas's place. I should really hope so. tmi.twitch.tv. Then I'll go for anything that's not a space, and that is actually going to be the message type. Then we'll go for the space hash. Then we want anything that's not a space again. That'll be the channel.
Our community grows.
Thank you very much for the follow, Dookie19953. Please let us know who you are, what you're doing, where you came from, or not. That's entirely up to you. Hi there, Ryan Roberts, Cubs Lover. How are you doing? If we can welcome Ryan in as well, please. I am in many Discords. Which Discords are you in? Mingsy Rose, feel free to give the old man a shout out. It'll have to be a loud one so that he can hear you. I mean, he is rather old. Also, just to warn everybody, if you are going to follow the link that Mingsy Rose is going to throw into chat for us, in fact has just thrown into chat for us, he is kind of very, very sweary. Incredibly sweary. Won't tolerate nonsense, though. Hang on, I'm hearing things. Oh no, I was hearing things.
Our community grows.
Thank you very much for that follow, Ryan Roberts, Cubs Lover. You've just started your CS course and love it. Well, that is really great to know. Danny Crom 5, Old Man Sethas is very sweary. He is a variety streamer here on Twitch. He streams a variety of Darkest Dungeon. If anyone wants to clip that and send it to him to wind him up a little bit, feel free. I'm sure he will understand it. Fuel Snable, you don't send nonsense. Essentially, if I tolerate it, he will tolerate it. Danny Cron, you will enjoy our other streams then, because Old Man Sethas has done a teaching series on how to play Darkest Dungeon, and we are developing a web application, which unfortunately I can't show at the moment, only because I've had to take it down from the Google Cloud because it was costing a fortune. But we're developing a web application in F# using the safe stack, where you can go and not only watch that teaching stream, but you can watch him. You can click on tags, so you can search for, you can search for Wield, and it'll show up instantly any time that Old Man Sethas mentions the Wield, and you can go straight to that segment in the video. So it's really good for people who are learning Darkest Dungeon and learning how to play. Ryan Roberts, yes, I am from the UK. Voodoo, what's your obsession with naughty words? You're from Liverpool. You're not a million miles away from me then. Any tips to give you with regards to what? Streaming, programming, computer science? Voodoo's also from near Liverpool. Ryan Roberts is not from Liverpool. There's a good number of us from the UK. Codebase Alpha's just said exactly the same. Yes. You're from the USA. Do Do you know what? How wrong's this? I'm going to say for me, my favourite football team is actually the New England Patriots. Yes, I am one of those people. I do like the Pats. I like them just because of... Alright, I'll own up, it's Family Guy's fault. I don't watch UK football. I don't do... I don't do soccer, as you'd call it over there. I'm much more a fan of American football, oddly enough. Moiku's not a million miles. Mingsy, kind of between us, actually, at the moment. Lincoln's not millions of miles away, to be fair. Minksy's all for the Cardinals. Yeah. How did this become a sports stream? Anyway, let's get back to it because Ryan Roberts has asked a very good question that I'm very, very sorry I did kind of gloss over, and we will go into more depth. You're starting to understand the concept of ifs, whiles, fors, functions, classes, variables, data types, and a bit of lists. Advice to give you. The biggest bit of advice I can give is the same as how to get to Carnegie Hall, which is practice, practice, practice. I'm going to probably say the opposite then of what your teachers would say, which is don't. If a class is going to help you, if an object is going to help you, do it. If not, my personal advice, and this is going to be not what your teachers will advise, I will say this now, I wouldn't do it until I needed to. What programming language are you learning, or what languages are you learning at the moment? And what concepts are you learning? You're learning Python at the moment, and that's a language I don't know particularly well. By the way, thank you very much for that follow, Hi-Fi. Your next course is C++. Python I don't know particularly well. All I'm going to say is watch your indentation. No, don't start with C and then go to C++. We've had this discussion on this channel before. C and C++ are now very, very divergent to the point that they are separate enough languages. If you'd have been following sort of a few weeks ago, what you'd have seen is me use a good amount of C-isms in C++ because you can.
Our community grows.
Catch up, Streamlabs. Catch up. You will have seen me use some C-isms in C++ that actually C++ has got better things about. So I don't think learning C before C++ is a good or a bad thing. I definitely advise pick up a project that you want to do and have a go at it. We're doing a Twitch bot here, and I will admit we're kind of doing it the hard way because we're manually parsing the IRC messages. There are libraries out there that do all of this grunt work for you. It's just that I want to learn how to do the grunt work. Should you dive into C++? Get more familiar with Python first. I only say that because if you can get the concepts down in Python, if you can get the concepts down in the language that you're being taught, then migrating to C++ is essentially semi-trivial. Okay, it's not quite trivial, but it's, once you've got the concepts, migrating from language to language is just that, going from language to language. Fuel Snable makes exactly the same point I've just made, I think. If you want to learn C, learn C. If you want to learn C++, then learn C++. What concept? Definitely get your control flow understood. You've learnt about docs. What you'll notice is, again, something that isn't generally taught in school, but is going to be taught on but is something that I'm going to teach. I tend to go with is I tend not to comment, but docs are important. If you want a source that where I've been learning C++ to a degree, it's not really for beginners, but Javid X9 is very, very good. He's written his own game engine, a very small one in C++, to then show how to do different things. So he teaches people through writing games. Voodoo, you think Javid X9 also writes C++ as if it's C? I wouldn't say he's a bad source. He's the reason he's doing some of that, Voodoo, looks like it looks like he's trying to do things simply. And I'm always a very, very big fan of simple. So I disagree that Jared X9 is a bad source. I think he's a very good source in a lot of ways. Control flow is... Let's bring up a simplish example of where we're using control flow. So here, an if statement. So based on this condition, we are deciding whether to execute what's inside this block or whether to skip over it. And that's control flow. Control flow essentially goes, what's the next statement that we're going to do? What's the next thing that we are going to do? So if we've got a high command, and I can't run the bot at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, but if the command comes in as hi from the bot, we'll send out a hi chat command, a hi chat. And in fact, I could quite easily just let's get this so that it at least compiles to show exactly what we're trying to... that's still not going to compile, is it? Wow! All the errors. All the errors. Reset... Oh, I don't know. Struct Twitch message, whatever. We're not going to get this to compile for a short while, apparently. That's fine. Yeah, some people are saying that different reviewers are good, some different sources are good, some people are saying that they're not. So yeah, I mean, to go back to this example, what we're saying is, let's read this block of code out as you would read it. If the command is hi, then we will send that message. If it isn't, then we don't. That bit's implicit. We've also got loops. That's part of control flow. So while true, now that's a bit of an idiom that says run forever. So because true is the condition, that condition always comes out as true. This will run forever. It will do all of this, go down to there, and then go straight back up there. More control flow. I'm almost at the point now, Voodoo, where I'm sensing a troll, in fairness. I don't think that any language is easy to learn for everybody. I don't think programming as a discipline is easy to learn for everybody. I think that's a complete misnomer. Certainly, I'm finding C++ difficult at times. As I'm showing on stream, I'm not kind of coming on stream going, oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm coming on stream basically saying, I don't know what I'm doing. By the way, thank you, Brendan Matthews, for that host. It does take time. It all takes time. Data structures is in C++ for your uni as well. Yeah, once you've got one language down, I think moving to another isn't the most difficult thing in the world. Blob, yeah, I'm thinking the same as you actually on that. It's not easy. And yeah, it's a process. I mean, the first thing to do is, especially with Python, you've got the REPL. You've got the read eval print loop. You've got very, very quick. Have I got Python on here? Yeah, I've got Python. So, the first thing you might want to do is print hello. New version of Python. Can't do it like that anymore, so there's that. And one big thing, yes, it will happen. Let's increase the size on this and use a nicer font. But, one next thing is, if 1 equals 2, I can't remember how Python works really well. This is going to show that I can't Python very well at all. Should we do this in another language? Yeah, that would be false. Okay. It's the colon. That always gets me. So if 1 equals 2, yeah, then let's say true, else print false. Voodoo32, which bracket do you want about not being necessary? I'm in Python 3, so that won't work. Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's exactly it, Ryan. That's exactly it. And that's the basic building blocks of this. 1 doesn't equal 2, 1 will never equal 2 in standard numbering systems. And that's the kind of thing that's interesting, is once you've got to the point where you've internalized that kind of thing, you can go further. Thank you very much for that host, Clancy, as well. I need to keep an eye on these hosts. I think the best thing you can realistically do now, Ryan, is more practice. You've at least picked up what if does in Python. That's always handy. Don't ever apologise for sort of interacting. Please carry on. Ask all the questions you can. Calvin A. Allen, thank you for that host as well. So yeah, you're learning to think in the way that a programmer thinks. Carry on doing things. Come and join our Discord as well. We do have a Discord server. Ming Heroes has just beaten me to the social link. That's fine. No, we always. I hope I speak for everybody in here. I definitely speak for myself and a good number of people when I say that anyone that is starting on their journey for programming, whether they want to become a programmer in later life or whether they just want to scratch a little bit beneath the surface of how your computer works, please ask all the questions you can. I love to help. I love to get people interested and excited in the kind of things that we do. We do some unusual stuff on this stream. We don't tend to do mainliney stuff. It's all very all interesting, and we get to see more stuff. And I think, to be honest, I know Codebase Alpha, you stream and stream some wonderful things. And I'm sure, on your stream, if people want help, we ask and you'll slow down and give that help out. Cubisus, thank you very much. I can think of a lot of really nice streamers. In fact, if you look sort of down over there-ish, you'll see that I'm part of the Live Coder stream team, which consists of a very lot of great, wonderful programming streamers, and they let me in somehow. So it's a variety. But I think everyone in that team is very, very focused on helping each other. We're all excited about the things that we do, and we all want to help excite each other. Yeah, YouTube's wonderful. Go on, let's have a look at what Voodoo's doing. 1 divided by 1, 1 divided by half. No, unfortunately, Voodoo, as soon as you use the term infinite, you've got a problem. 1 equaling 2, there are many, many proofs of 1 equaling 2, and they're not the case. Because you can't... Yeah, once you start using a divide by infinity or a divide by 0, once you start playing with limits, you've got to be very, very careful what you're doing there, Voodoo. So, good try. But yeah, I mean, I know the old, divide by 0 trick as well to try and prove that 1 equals 2. Do I feel like programming books are useful? I learned out of programming books. It's something that helped me. What I do have a slight issue with is that now that YouTube's about, because I learnt... Okay, let's rewind. When I learnt at first, I was very, very young. I learnt to program from an extremely young age in BASIC on an old ZX Spectrum, which kind of gives away roughly what my age is. So I learnt in a time before YouTube existed, before the World Wide Web existed, believe it or not. And I've checked, I was about 4 or 5 years old before the World Wide Web even existed at CERN. So I learnt in a very, very different time to people now. So books were very handy for me. What I have found is that Twitch streams... again, like everybody in the Live Coders team, are really handy to use. YouTube is a wonderful resource. Khan Academy is a great resource. The best thing I can say, though, is think up a project you want to do and then do it. And I learnt it, and oddly enough, Ryan, I learnt Calculus 2 exactly the same way because I didn't do particularly deep calculus here. So you really love sports? Okay, Ryan Roberts. Let's have a look at this. BS in computer science. So all the requirements. So which course are you taking to start with, Ryan? You took CS 111, CS Nelson. Introduction to. Yeah, I like that one. Your next semester is 141 and 151. 141 is abstraction, modular design, recursion, lists and stacks. So it's a reasonably simple, a reasonably entry level, functional course. That will be interesting. It's in C++, you're saying, and then there's the data structures card. The data structures course I've got to have a look at now. Hash tables, priority queues, search trees, graphs, search and sorting, runtime analysis. Yeah, I don't think that's going to... I think if you keep your head, that's not a bad... That's the kind of course that I did take one similar. It's a lot... That looks a lot more theoretical than anything else, to be fair. Night, Codebase Alpha. Sleep well. And 151 is the maths RV. Oh, 151 looks fun. That looks tricky. 151 is the one I think I'd struggle with there. But yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Codebase Alpha. You are far too kind. Fair enough. So, yeah, I think there's. I don't know any of these people particularly. If you're going to talk about someone being in the deity position in computer science, I would have to say Don Knuth. Very much is, and to be honest, I think Rate My Professors is probably something we're not going to show on stream. I'm never a fan of showing personal stuff on stream. It's a bit. What's it? IBM, go away. Not interested. Cool. Random numbers. We know about random numbers. We've done that one. Where are we back to? Let's get back and carry on looking at our parser. So we're up to the point now where we've got the channel out, in theory, and then we want to get a string of that to match us there, and then we're going to parse absolutely everything else as the message. Char underscore. That's going to be the message. Now that's cool, but we've got, well, let's call it what it is, body. So we've got a parser here. What we'll notice for now is that we don't have any of these defined. That can go away as well, the inserter. Again, I don't know Crash Course. This is going to sound like a cop-out. I'm going to have to repeat what I said earlier, which is, one, follow the exercises that your lecturers give you. That's what's required to pass a course. The other one is, do we, try and build yourself a project. Don't worry about code quality. Don't worry about anything like that whatsoever. Just make something work. Once you've made things work, you can tinker with them. I mean, as a sports fan, Ryan Roberts, one thing that you will see a lot of is a coding kata called the bowling kata. Now, I'm not necessarily going to say to you, do it with all the test-driven development and all the things you've possibly never heard of. But, look at the idea of writing a program where you enter in how many pins you knock down and it scores a bowling game for you. Remember that a spare means that you get your next balls doubled. Strike means your next 2 balls are doubled. So just something with a bit more interesting in there. Something else that could be interesting is, if you want to build a simple hangman game. You've got conditionals, you've got loops. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to look into classes and all that yet. You can just do that with very simple sort of imperative style programming to start with. And then look at, would a data structure make your life easier? Would other things make your lives easier? But yeah, you do need to work hard and enjoy it. That's the other piece of advice. Enjoy it. Hey, try a tarp. Yeah, I love the stream so far. That's always a good way to get a streamer's attention. And thank you very much. You're new here, so come and have a play in the Discord. Wondering if I could put you in the right direction. You've been doing a script in Auto8 for work and you want to remake it in C++. You're having a hard time finding a good graphics library. What you're looking for is something pre-integrated into Windows, because the program must be fully portable and has functions for things like chat boxes, text boxes, and all the basic graphical things. Any ideas? Honestly, if you can distribute an exe with AutoIt, just do it that way. Why C++ is the first question I have to ask. Only because with C++, what have you got? You've got the Microsoft Foundation classes. Don't really want to play with those. Does it have to be something built into Windows or something you can statically link to? I ask that because the obvious one that I can think of is... Oh, actually, is that even obvious? I don't really know huge amounts of GUI programming with C++. There's a reason this is on the command line. I know that one or two people recommend WX widgets. It makes things look reasonably old, but it works. Okay. Perfect reason. You've worked with C++ before, you're trying to improve at it as well as having a fun project. That's why. Cool. That is perfect reason. Okay, so C++. You can use C++ with .NET, oddly enough. I think you can still do it. C++ CLR, which gives you all of .NET's fun times and graphical capabilities. That's one way to go. You could go the GTK route. Again, you can probably statically link all of this. You can do WX widgets and statically link. So you can package your dependencies up. There's nothing stopping you with that. So that should make life easier. I don't really know what I would do. In truth, I don't really do graphical programming in C++ yet. That's something that we will look into at some point because there's going to have to be a nice way of controlling this bot. And I don't think that just doing it from Twitch chat is going to be reasonable. So, GUI libraries. It's JavidX9 recommends WX widgets. GTK comes highly recommended. I think both of those have got very C-like APIs. I know GTK is a C API. There's no two ways about that one. So you're going to be dealing with that. Qt is just big, bulky, and they recommend you use their IDE and all the rest of it. That seems to be very big and bulky. You're almost down to something like IMGUI, oddly enough, which is nothing Windows-like at all, but reasonably easy to use. GTK, like I say, GTK is very C-like. I mean, you can get GTK, is it GTK-MM? Which is a C++ interface. And it's the official one. And then you can create a UI using Glade, so you don't have to manually program your UI. So that's a cool trick. We might play with this on stream at some point. How much does it look like native Windows? That's a question. Trying to think if I've got anything Windows and GTK. And then .NET. Yes, it's now known as C++ CLI. So you're running C++ on the .NET framework doing this. And there's Microsoft docs for that. The MSDN's handy. Fuel Stable, you've been testing the code on GCC on the Mac, crashes on the same line. Ooh, that's a thing. I was hoping you'd have found that then, Fuel Stable. Oh well. Have we got... I don't want to go to this quickly, but have we found a problem with Boost? I mean, I'll say I very much doubt it, and it's probably something silly that we're all overlooking here. But it's not out of the question. But surely the .NET framework is better than supported. It's supported. It's very highly supported. Mincy Rose, I'm still not convinced it is, you know. I don't like the idea that we're jumping straight to that as the solution. Yeah, I mean, you've got new syntax, so you've got a garbage collector, so you can go GC new and grab handles. So C++ on the .NET framework. I've never used C++ on .NET. And it's intended for console applications that wrap native C++ code. And they're saying for a Windows UI based on .NET, use C# or VB. So I actually tried it up. I was probably wrong to suggest .NET. So we're almost down to GTK. Realistically, manage C++. This is what we've just been looking at, Fuel Snable, but Microsoft's site is saying probably not a good idea. Yeah, I don't think it's pretty. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a pants one. Let's have a look at what GTK looks like on Windows. So yeah, Glade uses GTK, and I wouldn't say it's a native look and feel. I also wouldn't say it's a bad one. And to be honest, I think you can get different widgets and things. You could make it look native. I just don't know if you want to put the time in. I think we have worked with GTK on Windows. We did the Rust thing. Yeah, that's a simple looking at a simple thing to look at GTK. Yeah, it works. I mean, you can make it look quite nice as well. You can port GTK themes. I mean, that looks quite pretty, and that's on Windows. Good question from Kubisus there. No, Intel, I am not participating in research. Go away. Well, I'll answer this, and then I will try and crack on and get this done because I've noticed the time. You've seen me using F#, something we do quite a bit on stream. Do I think that functional languages are going to become more mainstream as the time goes on, or some of the functional features are going to start appearing in OOP and imperative languages? I answer yes to both questions. I think that functional programming languages or functional first languages like F# are going to, I hope that they'll catch on in the mainstream more. I think they're converging. I think what we're seeing is the start of a convergence where you're getting functional languages that are becoming a little bit more tolerant of imperative programming. So F#, which is functional first, but supports OOP, supports the imperative style of programming. And it won't stop you using those, but it will try and guide you gently towards functional. And then you've got, I know, C# better out of them. I think Java as well. Java's now got lambdas. C#'s had lambdas for a while. C#'s had monads for a while. They call it link, but it is monads. It's just a bit of a funny syntax. C#'s also got async await syntax, which again is just another use of the monad pattern. So I think we're getting some sort of convergence between the types. I think we're getting closer to a hybrid setup. Oh, Fuel Snable, that looks interesting. A minimal repro of the parser issue. So we have something that crashes in the same way on MSVC and GCC. Cubisoft, yeah. Look at let's carry on with this theme up for a little bit. What does a monad have? A monad has a return and a select many. Now, what's the return in link? It is literally the creation of a new enumerable with a single item in it. Then the monadic bind in link, or what's a monadic bind? It is a function that takes a wrapped type, it takes a function to go from a unwrapped type to a wrapped type, and then spits out a wrapped type. Now, okay, let's have a look at select many. Let's go enumerable.selectMany method, and let's just make sure that we've got the correct overload. So select many takes a source, an enumerable of source, so IEnumerable there is your monad, so a wrapped source, and then it takes a function that goes from source to a wrapped collection, and then it spits out a collection. Okay, this has got the result selector, so this isn't necessarily the type that yeah, so it's actually that one is bind. That is the monadic bind. You know, takes a monad, takes a function to go from the unwrapped to a different monadic type, and spits out the monadic type. And that is using so if you go from A and B, from C and D, well, that's a chain of select many calls. All the compiler does literally is translates those into the select many calls. I think in the C# spec you will find how query expressions work. But essentially, link is 100%. It is a monadic pattern, and at that point, you realise that actually almost every operator can be implemented in terms of select many. And as a bit of a challenge for people who don't believe me, try it. It can be done, and it's interesting to do. It's not the most optimal way of implementing most operators, but it is possible. And yeah, as Kubis has pointed out, monads are a very, very natural concept. The joke I often hear, and I say it's a joke, it isn't as jokey as people think, is you have probably invented monads. If you look through your code hard enough, you've probably used the monadic concept without realising it. And then languages that support it natively have a nice notation for it. So C# has from in as the query expression. That's reasonable for the monad, for like the list monad, if you want to call it that. It also has async and await for the asynchronous monad, or the task monad. In F# you will see you'll see computation expressions, which are monads under a different name because people get confused by the word monad. Yeah, I've seen that quote before, Kubisus, and I don't understand it. I don't know what a category is in mathematics. I don't understand a monoid. I don't understand an endofunctor. All I can say to that quote is maybe that's something you should go to the doctor for. Literally, the words I understood in that quote were, it's just a, in, of. Everything else made no sense. I mean, I do have a video where I was foolish enough to try and explain monads. And I essentially did it by going, look at this problem here. Let's refactor, let's refactor, let's refactor. Oh, and if we name this return and we name this bind, this is now a monad. And it was not so much explaining what monads are, but more a case of, let's see why they exist. If I go twitch.tv into here, let's not see my stream. I don't think I can get had for showing my stream up videos. Yes, I know I'm watching a highlight, and yeah. Production values were lower then, but not by much. But that's what I did in F# as a way of demonstrating what monads are. And I genuinely don't think it's a difficult thing to explain. I think the first thing I did was I don't call them monads. I went for the monad pattern, and the monad pattern to me is two functions, a wrapper type, and some very, very basic rules that no one can ever remember, so you look them up just in case you can be bothered, and you usually go, yeah, well, that was obvious, my code fits to all that. And if you can satisfy those conditions, you have a monad. And you can go around and talk about ivory tower stuff, or you can realise that all you've done is a bit of refactoring and you've got some nice code. Yeah, Joko, I'm with you there. I think people just overcomplicate that one. Anyway, this isn't getting us any parsing done, is it? And we need to do some parsing, people. So, let's steal that line because we know it. Let's say that we're now going to parse it. We're going to parse with message begin, message end, and the message parser, because that would be reasonable. Parse is in, well, let's just call it what it is. Chi parse. And now we just need to fill in what each of these semantic actions does. So, attrs, well, we've got something that takes a stud string of atta list, and that's something that we want to deal with, and it will return us some user results. Okay, so Twitch message has user attributes. So let's start defining what's in a Twitch message. So it has attributes in it. Now at this point, it's going to moan. Why is it moaning? Can't return. Oh, because the compiler's catching up with me. Because apparently I'm faster than the compiler. So the user attributes, we have, well, we've said attrs. So let's throw together a quick, let's just do these as lambdas. Auto, well, const auto. Attrs equals, well, let's take in, let's make a Twitch message first. So Twitch message MSG, cool, we can do that. Const auto attrs is, we're going to take a reference to that message because we're going to fill it up. So we'll capture that. We're taking in, well, that's going to be a vector of char, isn't it? Attributes. We're going to do the following. We're going to say, oh, let's do that. We're going to call attributes for on that atta list. Now, in theory, that could actually quite easily become a vector. We're not going to do that yet because we're still calling this from somewhere else. So let's say attributes for standard string, and that'll be attributes begin, attributes end. So that's how we're making our string from a vector of characters. Attributes for, that's going to return us a user attributes. So let's go message dot attributes is equal to that. Cool. So we've built up our attributes and we've put them away. Excellent. The rest of this should be reasonably simple, and I think Boost gives us a way of doing this in a more simple but boosty style. I'm going to go with the lambdas because I can. And that spits out void, cool, so we'll make that void. Oh no, it's a no, auto. I remember what this is now. Let's just explicitly state that we're returning void from this lambda. Cool. Next up, we've got a user. So again, back in here, string username, and we'll go const auto user is, well, let's go. Oh, we've got to be quick now because I've got an old man. Minxie Rose, do me a favour. Get out of this stream, go across to the old man's stream in a couple of minutes and let him know that I'm still streaming, so I'll be there in a bit. We're not getting this done in the next 7 minutes. I think any modding that needs done I can probably do from here on in. So jump across and enjoy yourself. If we could all thank Minxie Rose for her excellent modding tonight and for beating me to things in chat, making sure that you're all well looked after. Please and thank you, that would be wonderful. So let's have another reference to that message. This is going to take a vector as well. Thank you very much, Minxie Rose, and thank you again for being on the stream and looking after everyone in your wonderful, wonderful manner. So this is a bit of sort of left-hand, right-hand code at this point. Message.username equals username. This is where I wish I could type. Message type, channel and body. Well, let's just stuff those strings in now. Message type, channel, body. Message type, channel, body. Thank you very much, Minxie Rose. Yes, you'll be Coffee Fairy again on the...
Our community grows.
Thank you very much for that follow, ChessCube21, if everyone can thank ChessCube21 for that follow and show some love in the chat, that would be wonderful. Please and thank you. Minxie Rose, yes, next week you will be Coffee Fairy again, so the Thursday stream I will be Coffee Fairyless. Come the Sunday stream, we have a Coffee Fairy back. I am happy. I am also coffee. And I need coffee. That's a different point though. So we've got the message name, the message type, the channel and the body cool. So next thing, why is that not working? Of course, because it needs to be stud string username.begin. Username end. Anyone think that we ought to just have a toString function that does this for us? I'm thinking that we probably should, shouldn't we? Let's suggest that we do that. Let's go stud string toString take a vector of char in, return let's remember to do this properly. Let's take constant reference to that and it will return. Don't need to return that as a const, do we? Vec begin, vec end. And then we can just toString this. I think that's probably a much nicer way of doing things. Oh yes, burrito bowls. Burrito bowls are good. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable refactor. And coming back, I don't know if you're still in... I don't think I don't think Ryan's still in chat, but that's the kind of thing that you do when you're a little more advanced at times now. So that's the username one done. Let's do the message type, the channel, and the body. We're not going to do anything particularly posh here. User message type is going to be going from a type to message dot message type. That's going to be channel. That's going to be body. So that's the body one done. The channel one is going to be very similar. And there we go. So in theory, we can now do all of that and do a return. What did I call it? MSG, didn't I? And that's what we're going to return. So we're parsing the message, which is calling attributes for. The reason that attributes for works, even though it's down there, is because it's in the parser.h header file. So that should be fine. Let's now go across to main and start using it. So we're now not going to use that regex. So let's get rid of the regex and the match. That will tell us some issues. We need to return a parse. Shall we use out parameters? Shall we do something different? And go return that. That's going to be a bool, which is fine. And we're going to return a Twitch message. So we're going to get past a struct to fill. So let's update our signature here, because we haven't actually tested any of the code that we've written yet. I'm getting quite twitchy about it. That's claiming it's got an overload. Don't agree. I very don't agree, actually. But that's fine. The reason that we're passing an address in is literally to sort of indicate that this is an out parameter. I know that we don't have to. Before people get twitchy about it, I know that we don't have to do it, but we are still going to. I'm hoping that parse blocks. I think it will. But this is something, again, we can look at. So now what we're going to say is, instead of regex searching on that, what we want to do is, we've got the reply, let's go for a Twitch message. Are we in a namespace? Have I been a decent person? Okay. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Of course, what we need to do is declare our Twitch message in the header. Because we can't exactly use it if it's not there, can we? So that makes it happier. We will clean this up and namespace it up at some point, but we're still experimenting here, aren't we? So let's make a Twitch message of message. I believe that just calls a blank constructor and initializes it to nothing. So if, what did we call it? Parse. Did we call it parse message? We did. So if we're parsing that message, and we'll take the reply and the message, pass it the address of the message. Oh no. Yeah, of course, because we need to... What are we doing here? We just didn't need to construct it. So we're passing a message to Phil. So the attributes are now actually message.attributes. I think at this point we don't need to bother with that because we already know that we're getting those out properly anyway, or we can debug those in the correct place. User, well, that's now going to be message.user. Well, username channel is going to be message.channel name. Well, channel. The message itself is going to be, instead of match 4, that's going to be message body. So the user is, well, message username is just the string, so we don't need that. Command is again there. We've got all of those anyway. So command we're going to swap with message.body. Because that's much more reasonable. User there, well, that's not going to be user anymore. That's now message.username. And in theory, we should now be running. This is in theory, so let's, and a build error. Apparently 3 of. Okay, const expert cannot now result in a constant expression. That's fine. We know that now. Matching overload function find and failed to specify function. Let's have another go. That's now crying. No matching overload function found. So where have I messed up? Have I messed up in the parser here? I don't see... Well, let's just auto all the things here. And see what happens. I'm not sure if this will help. Rebuild all started. Let's take the warnings away. Okay, so that one is saying no. So what is attributes actually going in as? That's interesting. So let's grab a look at that. Because this could be interesting. Okay, let's do this for all of them. Because I think I might be messing up here. Let's see what actually gets passed into these. Because this might be a vector of vectors or something daft like that. So let's build and run. And it's going to hit breakpoints left, right and centre. If someone wants to throw something in chat, failing that, I will do it myself. I'll have a swig of coffee, let someone have a chance. Okay, swigged. It's gone in as random. Thank you very much for the host, Viking Coder. Okay, that's odd. It's moaning that we haven't hit this breakpoint. That we're not going to hit the breakpoint. Okay, and it probably won't, to be fair. How do we know what type that's going to be? That is a constcar 15 tmi.twitch.tv. Well, that's not true. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Why is that happening? Okay, it's a const lambda void auto attributes. Oh, it's using the auto for us. Const lambda void auto type goes to void A. Oh, it's just got. So channel goes to channel. Is it a fusion vector? Have we got this issue? How do we rectify this? How do we just go break in the debugger? Stirred. See out. Is that more reasonable? That probably won't even compile now. Will it? Okay, and I'm wrong. It's compiled. And what is attributes? Attributes is just a cut. Okay. Attributes is just a character. So, pointer to attributes is that. Is this because we need to reference all of these? Oh no, it's just a B. Why is that now all of a sudden just a B? Or is that really what it is? Well, let's continue and see what it's doing. Yeah, it's just spitting out a B. We'll save that one for a while, and what we'll do is similar trick in one that should be a little simpler. Let's fire this up. Take that breakpoint out as well. So stick something in and hit a breakpoint in theory. Why did that not even call in? That's not even hitting. It just hit, it got the B1. I mean, is that even hitting before we do anything? Okay, so that's hitting. That's a B. What's using it? What's... Okay, so F10, F10, Shift F11. Let's try and come out of all of this because this looks difficult and not nice and I don't like the look of it. Out of the parser. Oh. Okay, so we seem to be getting nothing there. But that never seems to have been called. And that is a B, it's not even badge type. Do you know what I've done, everyone? we're only matching one character at a time, aren't we? What we needed to be doing was, in these cases, matching as many characters as we wanted. That would make, if I put the other bracket in, that would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it? Facepalm, right, what's the no now? That's saying you can't do that. That's fine, I don't want to do that, because I now believe that that auto is legit. I think that might work. Let's try this again. Let's be brave and assume that everything here is now going to work, because that was me being a bit of a moron. We can assume this. We can find out later, like after this build's kicked off. Okay, so the build's worked, and if I go random now, it's still giving nothing. So what would be interesting is to go and see where that issue is. Right, so attributes now is pretty sizable. That looks very much like a vector of car. A vector of car, whatever you want to call it. And if we go into here, thank you, Nightbot. We're getting what we are, which is badge info and all that malarkey. That is kind of cool. So, oh. Is that an us problem? I don't think it is. Let's scroll all the way down to here. No, it isn't. Okay, that was me not understanding what's going on. So that's fine. Let's throw breakpoints on all of these, shall we? With the intention that we're filling this message up. So we'll run that through. And it never seems to be hitting anything else. It only seems to hit the attributes bit.
Our community grows.
Thank you very much for that follow, Crazy Phantom. If everyone could give Crazy Phantom some love in the chat, please and thank you. And yeah, again, I haven't been counting spaces where I should have been. So my parser was wrong and it was failing there. Incidentally, that's interesting. It calls the semantic actions on everything before it fails the parser. So let's again go and try a random roll. The attributes, well, let's F5 that. Message attributes is filled. Username is filled. Message type, private message, in my channel with that body, I suspect. And I don't know why the bot didn't respond. That might be a thing that we need to work out. Let's take these breakpoints away then, because we know that those are getting called. We now need to go into our main CPP file, because message we should now have back, should we not? This could be where I've messed up a little bit. Let's try this. So message at this point contains everything that we are. It's got the new line at the end. That's interesting because that will never ever then come in. We need to strip that from the end. There's no point keeping a random new line, is there? Twitch is sending us that new line back. Well, why don't we in the parser say that we're now looking for something that's not that. This and then just stick the new line at the end. So we're looking for anything up to a carriage return that's not a carriage return. So anything up to the next carriage return. You cannot send multi-line messages, Joko. I've checked. No, I don't know if it's IRC that you can't do it. IRC multi-line message. Okay, so IRC, no. IRC protocol does not allow it, except for a CRLF at the end, and the message field shows it. Okay, so yeah, I mean we've even got a BNF. That's cool. So we can have a look at this grammar. But yeah, a message is colon prefix space, which is so that's the attributes command parameters CRLF. Parameters is a space followed by a colon with trailing or middle and params. So middle is not allowed to be a CR or an LF. A trailing is not allowed to be a CR or an LF. So no, by RFC 1459, which is the IRC protocol, I'll stuff that in chat, you can't do it. So on the grounds that IRC says no and Twitch's chat says no, I'm going to assert it's not allowed. And I'm going to just strip that new line from the end because we know we're getting it anyway. So if I now ask for a random number, we'll stop there. The message has got, oh come on Visual Studio, I've been singing your praises about how cool you are. What I now don't want you to do is crash and do a silly. Just show me what I want to see. No, you're going to crash, aren't you? Yay! Yay for crashy times. No. That's... No, bye-bye Visual Studio. Have your crash. Throw your hissy fit. I know you're a little bit annoyed. Yeah, kill that. Yeah, we're not running PowerShell anymore. Let's go back into VS, into there. And fire this back up and see if we can get Hubblebot back running. Cool, it's online. We'll go to random. Message. Excuse me. Well, message.attributes exist. Yeah, there. So we've got body as random, channel mine, private message as the message type, username Gareth Hubble because it was me, and we get a load of attributes based on the user. Now obviously things like badges, badge info and all that, we're going to need to further parse these. That's absolutely fine for now. And we're going to have to decide what we need to use there and what we don't. Display name is something that's very interesting to me, because if I want to send things back to a username, I probably don't want to be doing at that username. I probably want to look at the display name. We can also look into creating a more strongly typed struct here. However, I rolled a 4 apparently, and if I take that breakpoint out and I say hi in chat, I'm saying hi to chat. So we've now decided we've got yet again no more functionality. So that's something that we've got to be careful of. We've got no more functionality in the bot. But we do now have a grammar that we've parsed. We're now doing that thoroughly. We've fixed the idea of the parse messaging. The parsing might not parse, it might fail. And until we deal with more different kinds of IRC commands, that's the case. But we're not kind of trying to force a point here and relying on nulls. Running this under release mode is going to give us issues still, I would say. Wow, my voice tonight. Okay, after that cough. Yeah, so we've got the same problem as we had before. That was called from parse message there. So it's any time we use that parse message, it fails for us. So something to potentially show whoever. At the moment, parsing a message isn't very good. Well, boosts parse in MSVC release mode is failing the way we're using it. Just to sort of hammer a point home, though, look at what we did deal with. That was the regular expression, and we had to pull everything out of the capture groups. Technically, that's wrong, because that would now have been... let's just correct that to that as another capture group. So, would people think that what we've done here, by parsing this out as... by using a parser, is easier to read than that regular expression? I would say it definitely is. And I would say that this way of filling the struct is a little bit clunky. There might be a better way of doing it. But for now, you know what? I'm sticking with it. Let's have a look. That's another case where that stud string value begin value end. Well, that again is now a 2 string value. So that's just tidied that up slightly. With that, I think what we're going to do is have a look for someone to raid. I'm going to get this committed in. Let me just to make sure I haven't broken anything, and because obviously we are going in for a raid. If anyone knows anybody that we could raid, please do let me know. I'm going to have a look at the live coders team, I think, and see if there is a live coder online. Twitch.tv/team. Zorkenheimer, thank you very much for the host. I am literally about to go offline. I'm literally about to throw a raid across to, let's say, Jeff Fritz is doing some pair programming at Build 2019. Well, I think we ought to go and say hello to C# Fritz. So, shall we go and drop a raid in with the team leader? I think we should. So remember our raid call, everybody. If you don't, the bot can. Have we got a running bot? Oh, no, we don't have a running bot. We're in release mode apparently. Let's go back to debug mode. Let's have a raid call. I know I'm doing this on technically the wrong place, but hey, you know what? It's fine. Raid call. So, that's, to be fair, I only do that because it's me, I forget the raid calls. So remember to copy the lines, and we are now going to go over and drop a raid into Jeff Fritz. C# Fritz. I should see everybody again on Thursday night. I'm thinking of doing a full week on this bot. I'm thinking I'm enjoying C++ so much that we're going to shelve the F# stuff for a while. We're going to play with C++ more. Ryan trying to relearn Calc 2 for your final. Good luck. Do join us in the Discord. Join us on stream on Thursday at 8 p.m. UK time. I don't know where that is anywhere else in the world. I'm sorry. But enjoy, and I will leave you all in the very, very competent hands of Jeff Fritz, who's at build. So please remember the raid calls. I'm going to put it in chat again. Remember the raid calls. We'll go across there and we will enjoy ourselves. Good night, everybody, and thank you very, very much for joining in.